Hello and welcome back to Melbourne Airport and of course Airport CEO to what may be the last normal episode in this series. The only thing we really have left to do is Terminals 1 and 4. The rest is pretty much there, pretty much functioning the way that I want it to be. The reason that I say normal episodes is because there is a lot of decorating that I want to do, there's some upgrading that I want to do. Potentially there's some general aviation stuff that I want to do, but I was thinking we could do that in a finale, a live stream for this series, really close it out nicely. So that is what I'm thinking. I will say I did do a little bit of work off camera again. I finished out the second helipad terminal, so that is all up and running and good to go. I also did add in a security exit for our baggage scanning because I completely forgot to do that the first time. But that's fine. Otherwise, everything is pretty much the same. We have almost 12 million in the bank, and we are going to start working on our Terminals 1 and 4 today. But before we do that, because there's going to be a lot of planning involved with that, I think I would like to go around all of our taxiways and finally actually build them. Because currently we just have the singular taxiway in the middle, and the others are just planned. So I thought we could jump into a quick little time lapse where we upgrade all of those to be fully functional wide taxiways, and then we'll be right back with some Terminals 1 and 4 action. So see you in a little bit. And with our final pieces of taxiway going in, we should be ready to go and move on. This is basically the top of our airport, completely finished, bar some decorations. The only other thing that I really want to do up here is upgrade everything to concrete, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later. For now, I think it's time we actually started building out this terminal, and I'm going to start with the runways. I think we'll just do one for now because we don't have any general aviation to utilize the second one. One runway should be more than enough for this amount of traffic. So I'll jump into a time lapse, get one of these runways built and all of our taxiways, as well as our terminal building itself and the top floor. And we will go from there. Just before we jump into this time-lapse too far, I do want to adjust this security first because this is not going to be good enough as far as I know. So we're going to remove all that. I'm going to rotate so that it's easier to work with. And I want a couple of things. I want a small checkpoint in the middle or off to the side. It doesn't really matter which. This is going to be dedicated for staff only. So we're not going to have to worry about passengers going through that one. And then I want a bunch of these large ones. So I'm thinking 1, 2, 3 there maybe. And 1, 2, 3 there. That should be plenty of bandwidth for our passengers to get into this terminal. And I know it's a little bit unfortunate that if people were catching an international flight and then having to go through over here, they would have to go through security twice, but you know, it's a game and it doesn't really matter that much. So we're going to add an exit on either side here. And it's unfortunate that I can't fit all of that within a little bit smaller of an area. I can add another one over here. And that might just make it look that little bit better. If I grab the copy paste mode tool, I can copy all of that. Find where it is, hit control, click again, that removes it. And then I can just move it over a scotch like so. It's going to be a little bit off center, but I'm happy enough with that. We'll just add in a wall on either side and that will be our security area. Rotate the camera back to the right way and jump into the time lapse as they get this built. Alright, they're still doing a little bit of construction because construction is so slow in this game. I really wish you could have multiple contractor contracts just so that I could have more than 170 people working on such a massive project all at once. I think I waited a good 20 minutes for this to be constructed and it's not finished yet. But we can go ahead and start adding some of the things we need, like baggage scanners and what's this, staff room and toilets and things like that to the bottom here before we get too far into this, because this does actually need to be bigger. I'm not 100% sure how much bigger. Let me just check. This is 6, so if we make it like, I don't know, 10, we should be fine. Which will be from here to, where is it, 10 there. Let's just extend this whole thing out. It's very similar to the other one, and that should be fine. Remove this wall here. And that should be good to go. The only other thing that we really need to worry about fitting down here is, of course, our baggage scanning bay. And honestly, I think we can pretty much just copy and paste this entire layout. We grab this and say from that corner to that corner. Should be fine. I don't think it's going to grab the baggage bay itself, just because it is a little bit of a special building. But since we don't have any stands over here, we'll add it on this wall here, right around there. And that should work out nicely. We just need to make sure that this is actually assigned to be a bathroom. And it looks like we've missed a wall as well, but that's fine. Throw that wall in. Wait, this didn't work either. What is the layout here? Oh, it's because that's not a staff room either. Okay, that's fine. We can jump in and grab staff room, and that will be there. Grab ourselves a quick little wall right there, and then we can basically come back over and copy and paste this entire thing and include the wall this time. This way it will add doors in for us. Line it up over here just like so. Click that in and that should be a-okay and ready to go. The only thing is this baggage bay will not be able to be directly next to this just because it does take up this tile here. So this needs to be 5, 6, 7 potentially. I think it only needs to be 5 actually. Yeah, 5 is good. So we'll remove that part of the wall. Grab ourselves a baggage bay. And I'm going to bring this one back the same way that we did with the other ones. This needs to be a secure zone, which I always forget with things like this. So this entire bottom area is going to be secure zone. Easy, easy, easy. And unfortunately, we can't do it over the thing, but we'll just go around very slowly and make sure that is all now secure zone, which allows us to grab our baggage bay, bring it back by 1, throw that in there, and grab ourselves our roads, throw them in down here, not too big, like so. And that is our little staff area sorted. Now, of course, we will need a way for staff to be able to get down there. Sorry for the jump cut. I had to cough really, really bad. We do need a way for staff to get down here, but that's fine. We can add a little elevator stair room down here. Our security can go into this little area, and that should be a-okay. That'll also mean our staff don't have to walk nearly as far. They can come from over this way, head straight down into this area. So let's figure out where we want that to be exactly. I'm going to rotate this because I'm used to looking at it this way. We will grab ourselves an elevator or 2. These can just sit right in. The top level is also not a secure zone, so let's fix that real quick. That should be good to go. As the pipes burst in one of our bathrooms, no need to worry too much about that. Our janitors will fix that up by themselves. So, elevator there and there. Grab ourselves a wall to just box these in, make them look a little bit nicer. And see if we can't fit some kind of a staircase. Right there wouldn't be terrible. If we went, say, yeah, I like that there. And that is our little staff access port for this area. We'll throw like a bathroom in here or something and then leave this probably open. Maybe have a shop in front of it or something. But that should be good to go. The next thing we need to do is figure out where all of our gates are going to be and figure out shops and bathrooms and things like that. So I'm going to jump into another quick little time lapse as we get this terminal laid out, and we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, and with that, I think that's a pretty decent layout for our terminal here. Pretty much everything is constructed at this point, bar everything that we just placed. But underground is pretty much done. This is all done up here. All of our stands are in the right places. I think the next thing to work on is hooking up our baggage scanning and hooking up our baggage bays and making sure that is all functional and working. So again, this is going to be a pretty time-lapse heavy episode, but we're going to jump back into it and get our baggage handling all sorted and organized and ready to go. So we'll be back in a little bit. And simple as that, everything should be now hooked up. Our baggage gets dropped off from here, goes underground a little bit more, back up over to our baggage scanning area, into our aircraft through our baggage bay. Any baggage that comes off of the planes simply goes underground and straight to our baggage claim area. If I can get the camera to rotate the right way. So this is our baggage claim area for this particular terminal. Let's just check in on their construction. They are still working on quite a few things. So we might have to jump back into a time lapse as this all gets sorted. But we can possibly hook up a couple of things. No, we'll wait till all of this, all of the conveyor belts are built, and then we'll hook up all of our baggage bays. We'll hook up everything that needs to be hooked up for this runway. Now, this runway can now be opened. It's for commercial flights. We can accept small aircraft. We don't have any small stands, so I'm not going to worry about that. This is going to be takeoff and landing and only for commercial flights for the moment. The other thing that I want to check is if these are getting automatically connected by themselves, and of course they are not. I think the main reason for that is because none of these have been upgraded to have jetways. And jetways are pretty important for these, so we'll go ahead and upgrade these to all have jetways for $160,000, and that will build that. But we will manually have to go through and connect these up. I think some of the ones that haven't been built yet might get connected automatically, but we will have to see. I'll go through all of those in the time lapse as well and get everything connected there. Then we'll jump back in and connect our baggage, and we should be ready to almost open this terminal up for the general public and start getting flights moving. So we'll jump back in as they get this all finished out, and we'll be back in a little bit. And of course, as I'm looking at this, I am realizing we are missing a very important piece of the puzzle. We don't have any services down here, so we need cleaning, we need catering. I don't think this catering is going to be able to keep up with this, so it's going to probably require its own catering. Potentially we could share it with this, but I don't know. I feel like that's too far away. Although if we maybe run a road underground, we could connect these two up and it might not be too bad. I think we might try and do that. Have like catering over here, garbage over here. As I'm looking more at this, I think we're going to have to remove one of our hangars. So I'm going to demolish that. I need to close it first before we can do that. Demolish that, and I'm also going to do the same over here. This one is a little bit easier because it's not built yet. And at that point, we can have a look in aircraft infrastructure and see if we could potentially fit a catering depot in here. We can't. What I'm thinking, this is my thoughts at this point. Our car parks are barely being utilized at all. They do get utilized a little bit when the subway goes down, but that generally doesn't last for that long. So I'm thinking we might have to demolish at least a section of our parking. Like we could keep these bottom two, have the building up here, just because our parking really isn't serving much of a functional purpose at this point. I think I would rather utilize that space to get stuff in for these that's a little bit more practical. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. That does mean we're gonna have to move a couple of things around. We can probably delete the entire pathway here and actually remove that wall. I don't think, that door, sorry. I don't think that's necessary at all. People are barely using it as it is. So we'll go ahead, remove that door and that door, replace that with walls. That will mean everyone will funnel down this way. And then we can go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. And then one side can be garbage and one side can be catering. And I think that will be fine. We will have to move the fence as well, but that is a-okay. I have no problem with doing that. And yeah, I think we'll be fine. I think I'll end up extending this pedestrian pathway out to meet up with this, just to give our people a little bit more option as they are moving around. But with that all said, I'll jump into a time lapse as they demolish this, get some infrastructure in, move this fence, and we'll be back in a little bit. Alright, I'm seeing one more issue here, but this one's pretty easy to fix. This building can't be placed underneath the depot, underneath the terminal building. So we're going to have to shrink the size of this security room back just by one, and that will fit in nicely where we want it to go. So I'll jump into the terminal tool here, grab this, and we will remove this little section of terminal here, and we'll make it symmetrical just because I think that's going to look better. Remove that there too, and then grab ourselves a quick little wall, throw that in on either side, and with that done, as soon as that's demolished, we'll be able to go ahead and place our catering depot here, and I think we might have to do that on the other side. I want to anyway, just so that it looks the same. So we'll remove that, jump in, grab our walls in planning mode, throw that in there and there, there and there, and that should be good to go. We jump into aircraft infrastructure. Do we have enough room to put the waste depot down here? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It barely fits, but it fits, and that's all we need. I did also go ahead and throw a vehicle depot down here. I'll do the same for the other one as well. These are pretty much just going to be straight up mirrored from each other, so that is fine. I'll probably end up doing this one over here off camera so that you guys don't have to sit through that process. And yeah, we're getting very close to the finish line here. Very close to the finish line. Looks like this has been demolished, so we can jump in with our catering depot. And I'm going to put the service roads on that side. Throw that in right about there. Now, this does need normal traffic as well, but that's fine. We have a plan for that. Grab ourselves our service road, get this side connected up first, and that can just go straight across the taxiway there. Grab ourselves a normal road. I believe that was a normal road. This can just come up, and then we'll simply grab ourselves a road tunnel, and this will be a road tunnel down if it would select. That will connect up to that road there, and then we just need this to run off of our map somewhere. So that's simple enough. Grab ourselves some asphalt, and that works perfectly. Drag it to the side of the map a little bit out. Grab ourselves a world entrance tunnel. Throw that down there and connect it up, and that should be all of the connections we need for our catering depot. Perfect. How are they doing up here? They're almost finished. All right. I'm going to jump back into a quick little time lapse. I'll get the waste depot down. We'll also connect all of these self-check-in desks to our stands themselves, and we'll be back in a little bit. All right. All our stands are connected. We just need to make sure all of our baggage is now hooked up and ready to go. So we'll select, select all of our stands here and say you guys are linked to this baggage bay, which should now be at 12 out of 12, which is fantastic. We need to make sure that this baggage claim area is also connected to our baggage bay, and these guys, which will take a second to select. All of our check-in desks also need to be connected to our baggage bay. And then, once everything is finished constructing here, I think that is everything we need. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit, but before we do that, sorry about that, I am going to jump out of planning mode for a second. Grab ourselves infrastructure and transportation, grab ourselves a road tunnel down of the service variety, and throw this in right around there and there. Jump underground, grab ourselves some service road, and connect these up. This is going to be our link between our, our garbage thing and our catering thing, so that they can get to both of these stands. I hope that's going to be okay. I mean, it's two-way traffic. I think it'll be okay. They don't really go to these super often. The trucks fill themselves up and then they wait for stuff, so I think it'll be alright. I think. We'll have to see, but I think that'll be alright. I don't think we need anything else down here. Fuel's not a problem. They can come up here for fuel. They can also get to everything. Everything is linked together, so once we order vehicles for this area, that should be a-okay. So yeah, we're getting very, very close to being able to open up this terminal and start working on the other side. But just as they finish off the little final bits of construction here, we'll jump into a quick little time lapse and be back in a little bit. Quick little update here. We do have our first vehicle depot in. This is going to be tier 4, or terminal 4, depot 2. And I'm going to go ahead and in a time lapse start hiring some vehicles for this area. We're going to have quite a few. We're going to have a baggage truck and baggage stairs for each stand, as well as a couple of extra baggage trucks to sit in the depot to help with loading and unloading the planes. We're going to have probably 4 to 6 fuel trucks, and a whole bunch of catering. So we have 8 stands. I'll probably grab 12 catering trucks for this terminal, as well as 12. I don't know if 12 cabin cleaning crews is too many, but we might grab 12 of those as well and assign all of those through the terrible menu that is the vehicle overview menu. And I'll come back once that is all said and done. And I believe that is all the vehicles we need. They are all assigned to these depots, which means they should mainly only be servicing this terminal here. We'll just jump into our operations real quick, check if they have finished construction. It looks like they, for the most part, have. We do just need to finish off this fence right about there, and we should be good to go. If I've done all my calculations correctly, this should be ready to rock and roll. We just need to open up all of these security checkpoints. They are passenger only. This little one in the middle here is for staff only, so that should be good. We did just have an emergency. Mayday. SW805, weight class medium, experiencing a in-flight medical emergency. We can absolutely help you out with that. Throw you in right there and call that good to go. In one of the time lapses, I did also take the liberty of renaming all of our medium stands on Terminal 4. So I believe at this point, we should be able to select every single one of these stands, hit open, and everything is green. These guys will need more staff, but that should happen relatively quickly. All of these check-in desks are green, no errors, no whammies. Let's see if we open up our flight monitor and scroll all the way down. We do have a couple of flights already on their way. While we are waiting for those, I would like to go ahead and say build planned objects, and I'm just going to build the runway over here. I need to go down a floor. Build the runway over here just to get started. Something like so. And we can probably also build all of this without any worries. And you know what? We can even build all of this. I'll do it one section at a time just to make sure that I don't accidentally delete something. We'll go to there, and then from this corner all the way up to our other corner as it lags. Just a little bit. That leaves us with 3.3 million in the bank. They can start working on that in the background as we make sure this is all running smoothly. Did have another thing. Ramp agents found a fault in one of our aircraft. That is absolutely a-okay. We're also currently in the middle of a global and economic crash, so that's not fantastic, but it is what it is. Speed up the game. Make sure everything is looking good here. I do want to rotate this around and just build out our queues really quick, same way we did over the other side, something like that. Go ahead and do that for every single one of these as our passengers start coming in to our brand new T4 terminal. And ironically, we'll build T1 last. Don't ask me how that works, that is just how it turned out. So that should be absolutely fine. I'm gonna, as soon as we check on this plane, make sure everything is working as intended. I'm going to go ahead and cut the recording for a little bit as I get T1 to the same point as T4 is right now. As I click too far, go to there, and that should be all of our queues sorted. It looks like we have our first planes coming in. Let's just make sure everything is working as intended. We have deboarding, service round, baggage loading, and refueling all in progress, as well as catering and cleaning. Looks like everyone is happy. Baggage is coming off. We have our cabin cleaning truck on site. We should see some catering coming in very, very soon. If we click on this, this currently has no food to prepare meals from. Depot is awaiting incoming resupply. Why are we not... more than 5 shipments already exist. Do we need more catering? How are you doing? You have plenty of food. Let's review this contract. $23.46 per delivery. Potentially we can get a bigger one to make that a little bit easier to get stuff coming down here. Let's have a look at our catering contract real quick. So this is for 2346 at 14 cents per thing. I'm not super concerned about the price of it. If we have a look at one of these food suppliers, yeah, 28, 25, 26, 29, 24, 26, 17, 15. So like realistically, this isn't that small and we should be able to work with it. I'm just going to leave that run for a little bit. Hopefully we get a delivery here at some point. I'm going to turn this to 6. For now, they'll probably have to drive all the way up here to grab their food. And that'll be okay. We should probably start resupplying at like 70% though. Just because we can hold 10,000. We get delivered like... how many are we getting delivered? 23. So this should be like 75%. Try to keep this full at all times. And we'll do the same thing down here. If we select this one and say resupply at 75%. Fingers crossed these guys can get their hands on some food at some point. Because, yeah, we kind of need it. I imagine there is food on its way. It just hasn't reached us yet. Like I said, this is full, so that is not an issue. Looks like our planes are happy and moving on, though this terminal is already almost full. If we look at our flight monitor for Monday, yeah, we're doing pretty well. The only ones that don't have a ton is T2. Isn't completely full, and that's just because there are less international medium flights available to us, but that's fine. We currently have a flight capacity of 112 out of 300. Planes are coming and going. This terminal looks like it is working well. Let's just check this, see if we have any issues. T2L3 is still occupied. Let's go have a little bit of a look there. I think this is this one, and it just left, so that's sorted itself out. It really is just the catering. The catering's bugged me this entire game with bugs and different things. I don't know why we can't get any deliveries here. I really don't know why. If I jump up here, can I request extra food from here? I can. That is interesting. Are you only allowed one catering depot? Surely not. My other question is, can I go ahead and grab a secondary catering food supplier? Like we had like a 2.9 in here somewhere, didn't we? Something like that. 2.850? 2.901. It's 39 cents per, but no. You cannot have multiple catering food contracts. So we're just going to have to wait and hope that these guys get some food at some point. It also looks like bulk selecting these just didn't work or just bugged out the displays. This should be operational. Deactivated, but it's not though. It is not. This one, the rest are fine now. If we close this, security checkpoint is not operated, so why not? It is not deactivated. Is it just missing staff? I think that might just be a bug. The rest seem to have sorted themselves out though, as we get a giant influx of people. But we should be a-okay. So at this point, I am going to cut the recording for just a little bit as I build out this terminal over here. And we'll come back and take a look at an overview of our airport that we have built together. I want to say we built it together. All right, we'll be back in a little bit. Just going to jump back in here for a quick second. Figured out why I wasn't getting catering delivered. Because this road here is not finished being constructed yet. I'm going to cancel these because I don't think they're ever going to get to them. And instead, we're going to rebuild them and hope that that works. Fingers crossed. This is pretty much all set up now. I'm just waiting for construction to happen. So I might let that run as a little bit of a time lapse. I'll try my best to not move the camera or jump into any menus or anything as we do that. But you can just enjoy a quick little time lapse of this entire terminal getting constructed. The only thing that I haven't put in yet is the security. So let's go ahead and copy and paste our security. Rotate that around and we should be able to just throw that down right there. And as soon as the lag stops, that is now built up. So I'll leave the camera here. We'll jump into a time lapse. Hopefully we don't get any major emergencies that I have to deal with in that time. But we'll be back in a little bit. So I think I'm probably ended up cutting out a lot of that time lapse, but you should now be seeing a complete and finished overview of our airport. For anyone wondering, I cannot zoom out this far. This is like 4 images stitched together, but you can see we have Terminal 1 on the left, Terminal 2 and 3 up the top, Terminal 4 down the bottom, as well as our 2 helipad terminals. Everything is running nice and smoothly. We really aren't having too many issues whatsoever. So we are going to call the series here kind of. What we're going to do is on Thursday night, that is, let me just check the date of that. Thursday, the 3rd of October at around 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, we are going to do a live stream where we basically completely decorate this airport. We're not going to go too extravagant with it, but we will do our best to make everything look good. We'll throw in some windows, we'll get everything upgraded to concrete, and then I might do a final, very short video of the final result of that live stream. So if you can, make sure to put that in your calendar. October 3rd, 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, we will be saying goodbye to Melbourne Airport. It has been a wonderful series. I appreciate all of the support that you guys have shown me throughout this series. Do not stress, there is so much more content to come. I would like to do a couple of little tutorials on Airport CEO before we move on to our next game, which I'm thinking will possibly be Prison Architect, but don't hold me to that. That might change, but if you're excited for that, and do let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, leave a comment for the sake of engagement. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Become a member if you have the means and that is something that you're interested in. But until next time, happy building, happy flying. Bye, guys.